Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yadi with Lily Moon Vintage, and I have a quick little tutorial on how I created a vintage inspired apothecary cabinet using a mini storage chest from IKEA. So at IKEA, we went ahead and picked up the Mop mini storage chest. It says it's made out of birch plywood, and the spelling of the brand is MOPPE. If you want to go ahead and look it up online, it ranges anywhere between $18 and $30 depending on where you get it from. At IKEA, locally it was $17.99. However, I'm sure that you can go ahead and find it on Amazon, even though it might be a little bit different in price. Now, as you can see, it is made out of birch plywood, like I mentioned, and it is definitely unfinished wood. So it'll take stain very easily. You can go ahead and paint it. There's so many different options that you can do to this chest. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what we did to this little wooden chest to make it look a little bit more authentic and vintage. So just keep watching. So if you notice in the picture, the last drawer on this little cabinet is a long one. And I wanted to go ahead and make it look like it was more drawers in the cabinet itself. So I'm having the husband cut some little slits into the wood. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that correctly, but he went ahead and took his table saw and made some slits into the wood to mimic the look of 3 little drawers. And as you can see here, the top drawer is that one that he just cut. I went ahead and placed it on the top of the cabinet, and then the 3 that the drawer comes with, or that the cabinet comes with, I went ahead and put it on the second shelf, and then the medium sized ones I put it on the last shelf. And what I'm doing here is I'm just running my sander through every single edge. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I want to give it a more authentic look, and I figured that vintage apothecary cabinets have been sliding in and out of their drawer spaces for a while, so of course the edges are not going to be super crisp. So I'm just going to go ahead and round out all of the edges of every drawer on this piece. Now, as you can see here, I'm actually focusing my sander on the corners of every drawer. And again, that is just to round them out just a little bit more. So that is how it looks once it is all nice and rounded out. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process on all the other drawers, and we'll be right back. So now I finished all the drawers. I'm going to go ahead and move on to sanding down and just rounding out the edges on the entire cabinet itself and get it all nice and smooth and ready for staining. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish sanding and wipe down the entire area. Make sure that I don't have any kind of loose particles so that we can go ahead and start with our staining process. And I'm going to go ahead and place it on a sheet of paper just to make sure that if I have any kind of dust or anything like that on my table, it doesn't get on my stain. And we're going to be using Dixie Belle Voodoo Gel Stain in Tobacco Road. And this is a beautiful, maybe a medium tone brown. And it is super easy to use. It's a water-based product. You don't necessarily need to have any kind of gloves on if you don't want to use the gloves. I'm just going to be using the Dixie Belle Blue Sponge, as you saw here. And I have a dedicated sponge just for staining. So I'm just going to go ahead and squirt a little bit on there in my bowl, and it's just as easy as just dipping the sponge in and just applying it. And as you will see, it is, like I said, super easy to use. It dries fairly fast. Most likely you can do another coat if you want a deeper, richer brown. You can go ahead and do another coat maybe within 10 or 15 minutes. But you'll see here how easy and fast it is to work with this product. All right, so now that we have both of the main parts of this cabinet painted, we're gonna go ahead and repeat the process with all the drawers. And if you see, sometimes I go kind of against the grain. That's just because I like to make sure that every part of the grain is filled in with the stain. So sometimes I'll go against the grain and then just kind of fix it quickly by going over it with the grain. And again, this product is super easy to use. It doesn't dry super fast, so you do have a little bit of time to work with it. And now I'm going to go ahead and call my husband, Johnny, to go ahead and help me with adding the hardware because he is good at measuring and I'm not. So he's going to go ahead and take all the measurements and make sure that it's placed centered on every cabinet. And I just got these online. You can go on Google or Amazon and just search card catalog hardware or maybe Apothecary cabinet hardware, and you'll have tons and tons of different options to choose from color and sizing and things like that. These were actually a little bit smaller, specifically for the drawers that we were working with. So that is it, guys. We went ahead and turned a basic IKEA wooden cabinet into a vintage inspired apothecary cabinet, and we're actually going to be using this to hold all of our old and new hardware for some of our furniture pieces that we refinish. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys would like to see more videos and tutorials on furniture pieces and other DIY projects, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell if you want to get notified when we upload new videos.